Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be looking at any of the markets that we connect to. I just want to give a brief description of what this webinar is all about. It's about understanding the order flow and why is it important and what is our goal? Well, it's important because the market is made up of participants, of people trading or actors trading. And the only way that they can participate within the markets is via their orders. Is it added? Is it pulled? Did it transact? How much? How long was it in the market? Etc. These are the details that we can see in the order flow using Bookmap. Therefore, that gives us an edge. We start to understand the players in the auction process and then where price might be going based off of their activity. Okay, and that's what we're here for, is to understand their activity. So ask me questions. Happy to go through anything, any markets that you guys want to take a look at that we can connect to. All right, so a few items, news items. We have 3 onboarding sessions a week about understanding how to connect to Bookmap, get up and running, download and install it, connect it to data, add symbols, etc. If you're struggling with that, we're here for you. Dan just went yesterday at 8 a.m. East Coast time. Brandon will go Wednesday at 4 p.m. East Coast time, and then I will go on Friday at 1 p.m. So we're trying to reach out to you on any time frame or kind of markets around the globe. Basically, you should be able to, or we hope, it's our aim, is that you can connect to us. All right, anyway, I'll give you the link for that webinar in just a second. All right, so we have this new competition going on. We thought it was kind of quirky but fun, and it's Bookmap Trading Companions with your pets. We held a Bookmap desk competition showing your workstation, your Bookmap desk, we got all sorts of great entries. People with their systems, some had like 20 monitors, others had just like 2 or 3 or just 1. Some showed their dogs and their pets in there, and it was interesting. So we thought we'd try this one and see how it went. It's very simple. If you want to compete or partake in it, you just go to the website. We'll put the link here into the chat for you. It is this is what it looks like here, and then on X, Instagram, or LinkedIn, all you have to do is add your photo of Bookmap in the background with your pet, and then hashtag Bookmap Pets, and then upload that to your social media, and then it will immediately show in here. So you can see you can see this cat right here, focused in. Look at that focus right in on the on Bookmap. So some interesting stuff to see some of the engagement here. Anyway, have fun with it. Hope you are interested in partaking. And then Bruce's pilot program. So this is a program that I came up with just recently, and we're trying it out here. If you want to partake in it, this is the best method and fastest method I have seen for building an edge. And where did this all evolve from? Well, after talking to so many traders over the years, it was always painful to see that traders were trading without an edge, and they didn't know. We all hear about that. Oh, you should have an edge. You should have an edge. Back test, get your edge, and then you're left hanging. Basically, we hear about all these different setups and look for this, look for that in the setup, and make $1 million. Well, it doesn't work like that. How it works is you take one setup and you see if it works for you. You back test it, you trade it. We came up with this process where you can actually forward test it using Bookmap's replay mode, and you can speed that up. So you can speed it up at like 64 times the market speed. Therefore, you can trade it, you can rewind it, trade it again, rewind it, and you can hone your edge. Okay, so you can really get good at it. And this is how you're going to build an edge. You're going to gain the experience through the trading, but you're going to quantify that data, because when you trade it in replay mode, it is going to be captured in our web trading journal. Therefore, you have numbers. Now, you're going to go through this whole process. If you're interested in it, then go to the pilot page here. Let me put the link in here for you as well, and sign up. There's no cost to it. You will need to have a Bookmap subscription of Global or Global Plus, but that's it. Nothing else is required. Okay, you'll need to have data, of course, and up and running with the markets. Anyway, so give it a shot. Here's the link. I'll put it into the chat. And we think you will, if you're interested in really building out your edge and learning this process, this is a great program. Now, the Bookmap Academy and the program here. This is what the process we go through in this webinar, as well as the Academy. We look at some very simple things. What's moving the market first is number one. What's the impetus here? We should know that. Is it geopolitical? Is it news? Is it both? Is it a big technical area that maybe we're stuck in or breaking out from? This is what we need to understand. Then we look at the key levels around this market impetus here, where price might go, and understand where traders are going to react. Then we start to develop scenarios and some strategies on how to take advantage of that. Okay, so once we have an understanding of that, are we looking for range-bound trades or breakout trades, or are we moving away from value areas, etc.? And then you're going to choose your setup. Choosing the proper setup for the day will make huge difference. And then understand that you will understand your setup, especially in that pilot program. You will know it intimately. Okay, so then it's just execution. You identify it, you have your checklist, you start checking off the items in the setup, you can grade your setup, you determine your risk and sizing, and you wait for your order flow events to execute and manage your trade. All right, anyway, let's move on. Let's look at the live markets here. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Okay, so what do we see here in Bookmap already? Well, yesterday we saw a pretty choppy day. I can zoom out here, actually. I've got quite a bit of data in here. So this was from Friday here, the big drop. And then it just kind of chopped around in here from Friday. Now, I have my levels in here actually from yesterday. We drew up this huge zone in here, 50 to 87 or so, because that's where we went back and forth after the big drop Friday. And then where it dropped from up here as well. So this kind of 30 to 40 area up here. And those are still valid in the market right now. Okay, so anyway, we can see the, let's see, where is it here? So yeah, here's yesterday's activity here, and you can see just very sideways here. And then today's activity in here, and let's go to the live market. Here we go. Okay. All right, and look, very choppy as well in a big range here. And a lot of buyers just coming in right now. Okay, so interesting. Do we have enough buying pressure to trade into and through high liquidity here on the offer at this kind of 13 level, also 14 or 15 level, and then the next one would be up here at 17. To me, it looks like we've got enough momentum for 17, but we'll kind of wait and see here. It's looking pretty good. This is a lot of buying. They are starting to move the market. All right, we're getting a bit of a pullback. This is after trading into some high liquidity. That is quite normal. And then we need to see if these buyers if this is low enough for those buyers to come back in and trade back up into high liquidity here. All right, good morning, everybody. Mick Loco, Alois, Duzman, and Dan. Thanks, Dan, putting the link in there. Okay, links in there. All right. All right, let's see it, buyers. Let's see if they've got enough here. Enough in the tank. I mean, we have high liquidity right in front of us here. You know, on up to, well, you know, at 14 here, or 13 3/4, 15, and then 17. Okay, the question is, do we find enough aggressive buyers to trade into and through it? And let me see if there's anything else that we want to go over here. Any questions over in YouTube? Nothing yet at the moment. Okay, back into the range now. Not enough. Not enough. Where might we go? Okay, let's look at some levels. Now I'm gonna just take a look at some levels in here on this time frame. But we've got to we haven't gone through our process yet of 1, the market impetus, 2, the higher time frame levels, and then 3, strategies and scenarios. We kind of jumped right into it here. Yeah, just see how this is where it broke out from here at 08, 65.08, and also here, and there's a little bit of liquidity here at 65.10. And we'll see if buyers can come back in at that point. If they don't, then I would look for a move all the way back down, okay? Maybe even down to 6,500 the figure here. Okay? It is that choppy. Okay? This move here, we can take a look at this. I mean, it looks good. I mean, that's some pretty strong momentum in buying there. Okay, and it's consistent from down here, kind of a point of control down here on up. Okay, so this is an area we want to understand. Okay, maybe that's where the sellers have to bring it down and test. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's another scenario to go through on this time frame as well. And that is, if we get a scenario where we get lots of selling below this area in here, it means that all of these buyers in here will need to run for cover. That means that they will be sellers, and they will likely move the market back down into some of the lows or the low liquidity, high liquidity down here at 6,500. Morning, Snowman. These are some pretty nice stop runs up above here too. All right, let me kind of take a look around here. Any more questions? If not, then we'll jump over to the higher time frame. But as you can see that we are kind of peaking down below here, and then we're going to see if we get our buying interest in here. For those of you in that pilot program, this is one of the setup. This is the setup we look at here. Okay, It's not a great setup. It is on a lower time frame, absolutely. Okay, so in fact, it looks actually pretty good to the upside here. I thought it'd be a little bit better if we could trade up into 15 and maybe 17 before turning around. But anyway, the idea here is to understand four elements, and only four elements. Understand the high liquidity on the bid. Now, there's not a whole lot of high liquidity here. And now it's just on this time frame, right? It's a very small time frame. So it's not really what we're looking for, but I can go over the concepts of it here. You're looking for passive liquidity to get filled. These are where buyers are. We want to see the transactions into those buyers. Okay? We want to see where they start to absorb the selling pressure. Okay, like this right here, that's absorption, right? And now we want to see multiple levels of that absorption, okay, or transactions. Then we want to see a break of structure, and we want to see the aggressors come in on the other side. Okay, the aggressive buyers. So passive buyers, a higher time frame level, okay, which we don't have, but we do have a swing here. Okay, there's another one down here. Okay, we do have some passive accumulation. Okay, so again, this is just going over the concepts of the trade. Okay, and now we're looking for those aggressors in here. Okay, so passive accumulation by buyers, aggressive accumulation by buyers, and they're starting to. Okay, so now they should be able to lift price back up to high liquidity here on the offer, at least some of the swings. And this is a good swing up here at 10. They can get up there. Okay, so we have liquidity here at 9.5 and 10. Okay, we have another trend line here, another structural area here. So now we got to get through that area. Okay, and it's here that we kind of drew up earlier as well. Anyway, guys, it's just to go through the concept. In fact, there's your hit a single right there, just up to this area here. And now we'll see. Maybe we can get a little bit more buying in here. It's not a great level. It's not a great level at all. So I would pass on this. Good morning, Laura. All right, so anyway, let's jump back to our higher time frame. This is really where we want to focus, and then we're going to just drill down. Okay, we'll start with the daily over here on the left hand side, and what's happening there. Okay, so all-time highs on Friday, and then steep sell-off right back down to the swing from previous day, then kind of back up and kind of closed less than halfway, but and then yesterday a lot of chop, but it was an up day, and then today also kind of broke the swing high and went up to about 22 or so, and then is back down into the range. Okay, so looking at the hourly here, you can see now this is the cash session. Okay, we don't see this swing here from the overnight, right? And that's important to understand. Okay, so price rejected up here on the overnight. Okay, so on the hourly in here, it's range bound. I don't see any edge in here. I mean, it's good that it's up. That's about it. On the 15-minute here, You can see the range that's formed here. And we just visited up there and rejected. Okay, this is really right in the middle of wicks on both sides here. How do I activate my CVP and SVP, Pedro? Activate, or how do I? Well, let me show you. I'm not sure I quite understand the question, but let me show you something here. If you go to bookmap.com and you click on education up here, that'll take you to the Learning Center. And then under Bookmap features or getting started, but go to Bookmap features here and you'll see the columns here. Click on this area here, and then you can see this expands and opens up, and we have, I don't know, something like 10 or 12 videos on the columns. They're very, very short though, and this will answer your question. Start with the overview, the current order book, and then volume. Okay, these three here will probably answer your questions. Okay, you got it sorted. Okay, great. All right, guys, you know, there's few different things that I wanted to cover. I mean, let's first off, we'll start with this higher time frame again. You know, we have the swing here from the cash. Now this is the cash session up here at 65 16 or 16 and a half. You can see kind of a gap fill in here earlier today in the London session or European session, and then you can see that price chopped around in here and then here, okay, around 3:45 a.m. East Coast time. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 3:45 p.m. yesterday. That's right. So this is yesterday's action. We can see the pull away here. Okay, and so far from this move here at 4 p.m. at the close, this has kind of defined the this zone in here. There was, you know, heavy volume here on the close, and look, and it's probably better just to kind of mark this up here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Is these, you can see this kind of line in here, and we are accepting up here. Now we have rejected up here at the 16 level. Okay, but notice how, you know, price chopped around in here and then came back up and has been chopping around in here for this cash session. And we get sellers up here, we see the wick, and then we get buyers down here and we see the wicks here. Okay. Okay, thank you, Alois. Yep, yeah, I'm streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. East Coast time. All right, well, I want to go through this. We'll see how this plays out. I think we're going to be looking at some chops. So, oh, I'm already kind of missing it here. What I wanted to cover was going from ranges to breakouts. Okay, we want to look at our higher time frames, of course, always, and we want to understand these higher time frame levels. Okay, now this one's kind of interesting here on a higher time frame level, okay, at least on the 15-minute and a little bit here on the hourly here. You can just see one candle there. Okay, but you see, you know, multiple candles in here. So this is 1, 2, and this is our third time down. Okay, now what about on the way up? How did it react? Well, it did make a higher high here. It made a lower low here, this candle, and then it ended up as a higher high. And then look at the sellers take it right back down. Okay, so what I wanted to go over was these zones and these ranges, and then looking for breakouts away from them. Okay, so this happens all the time in here, exactly like this in here, chopping back and forth and kind of building up positions in here, and you can see how it turns into a value area, and then something breaks and someone's going to have to cover. In this case, any of the buyers, they're going to have to cover. Okay, and that's why we see the stop run here, okay, outside of the range, or we can get a lot of sellers in here too, and then we break that range, and they drive price lower. And if we don't find buyers, well, then price is probably going to accept in this new range in here, okay, and probably chop around for a bit. Okay, the low of the day is and the cash session is down here at 02. I see buyers attempt to try to get back into that range in here, right? Now let's see if we get some sellers right below here, which we are already at this kind of 04 and a half or 3/4. And do we accept? Right now it went down below and it came right back up. All right, so now let's see if we get our sellers here again at 04. And on this break, if we get a break here of 04, I'm just looking for it to come back down to this kind of 02 and a half or 02 3/4. That's it. And we'll see, maybe we will get more sellers down here, and maybe we'll break down a kind of a measured move, maybe down into 6,500, the figure. Okay, it's setting up pretty nicely here. We have another retest down here. Now I'd be looking for sellers right here at this 03 and a half. Let's see it, sellers. I do not see them yet. There they are. Okay, now let's see them try to drop it now, back down into 02. Okay, now can we get a trending move down to 6,500? Okay, so let's look for it. Okay, because we have this range here, and now we have a lot of buyers on the hook here, up here. Now the question is, can we get that new range expansion down to 6,500? There it goes. There it goes. Okay, so nicely done. Nicely done, sellers. Okay, now look what made up a lot of that selling. Okay, we have a big stop run there. And now we're at lows for the cash session. Now let's take a look at our higher time frame as well. Now we mentioned this. This is something we always look for in this webinar, especially is these areas in here. Usually, if it trades down to, and we've explored up here in the auction up above into the highs, and it rejects and comes back down. Now, usually it doesn't make a higher high. But makes a lower high here, and then we get more sellers and come back down for the third or fourth time down here. We usually see the break. Okay, now where is it going to go? Well, on this time frame, you'd look for the bottom here, which would be 92, not our 6,500. You'd looking for somewhere around here, around 90, 92. Funny thing is, I just don't see any liquidity down there. Okay. But 92 looks good. We have a swing down there, and we have this is our higher time frame zone that we want to see, looking for a test of that area. Okay, so that's around 64.90. This kind of range and break concept or idea, I mean, it's nothing new whatsoever. God, who is the well, Darvis Box, a Hungarian dancer of all people, back in the 50s, came up with that this idea. I mean, there's many people, but anyway, the who else was it? Anyway, like expansions. I forget. I'm sure you guys will recall it. My brain is a little mushy about this. All these different traders and names and whatever. But his book about range expansions was some years ago. It was going for like $1,500 on Amazon or on eBay. I'm sure someone will tell me what it was. But anyway, this is the idea here. Okay. Now, it's a pretty simple idea. You don't need to get the $1,500 book to understand it. And this is actually trading pretty nicely here. Down to it's already traded to 90, kind of 92-ish. Okay, now there's still a little bit high liquidity here. Okay, we want to see, Archer, you want to see the NQ? Sure, we can jump over the NQ. Yeah, we can take a look at Pedro also at GC. Okay. PayPal, would you consider 2% profit of gains? I know Alois already answered you. This is not a trading room in here. Okay, even if we are trading in here, it's simply not a trading room. Oh God, yeah, we're going to completely avoid any kind of copy trading or whatever. So there are all sorts of people out there that do that. We are not one of them. Okay, we're here to go over order flow and how you can build an edge or start to understand at least an edge using order flow. Okay, to integrate with the way that you trade. Okay, with your trading style. And that's what we're here for. It's only educational purposes only. You're not interested in signals. Okay, perfect, Pedro. Okay, guys. Okay, so now this move is really nice away from these little zones in here. I did not expect that big of a move. I thought we'd get another little box, something like this one that we drew up. There is the only caveat that I can see for this move unfolding like this is here, over here. Okay, now this makes sense to me, right? So because here we've got this area here, And the measured move would be back down to the bottom of this range here. It's already done it. Okay, so now I'm looking for a reaction down here as well. Okay, I'm looking for buyers to come in. I'm looking for profit taking to unfold. So I'm looking for a bounce. Okay, now let's be careful with this because you know, we have to be careful with these big bars like this. So let's jump over to Bookmap and let's take a look here. Now, what do we want to see? Okay, pilot program guys, I know exactly what you're going to say because we're at our edge. Okay, our bottom edge here. Good morning, Aesthetics and Luciano. Okay, we want to see this passive liquidity filled. Okay, and it did get filled. Okay, so we can verify that here, here, and here. Also some up in these areas here. So this is good. Okay, so now we're looking for a shift and change. Okay, so we have the passive liquidity getting filled. Okay, now we're looking for the break of structure, which the trend line, okay, a diagonal structure has already broken. Okay, but we also have a horizontal structure in here. Okay, so that would be the secondary structure, but the trend line broke, and we can get rid of this one. Get rid of these boxes up here as well. Okay, so now we're looking for aggressors. Okay, so here comes some aggressors. Okay, now we want to see that accumulation. Okay, so it started in here, but it has to break the structure. And now the structure is broken. We're going kind of sideways here. Okay, now do we see that in the bars in here? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. And maybe another rotation down. Now we're getting them now. Okay, so now let's see now. We should see this transition start to take place here. I don't see it quite yet, but I do see some of these buyers in here. Now I'm looking for a lot of aggressors in here. That accumulation in here, and I do not want to see them get squeezed. I want to see this work. Okay, I want to see this breakout and trade up into this liquidity, and then this one up here, back basically to the figure here. Or around this 99 level looks pretty good. Okay, so that would be the transition in here. Now see how kind of it's kind of anemic in here. We see the heavy selling, we just don't see the heavy buying yet. Okay, that accumulation enough to move that market. Okay, so yeah, all right, so we're getting another rotation, right? Now this might be a trend continuation. Okay, so let's see. This is going to tell us a lot right here around this 94.5. Yeah, still not seeing it. I'm not seeing that transition take place yet. We have to have all four elements here. All right. So yeah, didn't get it. And more selling starting to come in. Let's see if the sellers can drop it back down to our zone in here from yesterday or Friday. Okay, that would be around, I don't know, I'd say around 86, 87 here. It's just down here. And we might get, this might be that continuation, move down into this 85 liquidity down here. Yeah, looking good. How would I invalidate the setup? Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty clear. All right, and we're looking at it in here, looking for it. Right, we got the trend line break, but this structure break has, it's this is where we want to look, because we do have the criteria here for the passive accumulation. We certainly have a higher time frame level as well. Okay, down in these areas in here, or are we looking, at these swings here, okay, from yesterday. Okay. Now, see the distinction now? See this? This is looking much better, right? Okay, we had one more hit, and now we're getting those buyers now. All right. This is what we want to see. Now the buyers have the momentum. That we know that buyers were here. We know the structure, and we know we're breaking that structure. And how are we breaking it? On buyers. Let's see them move up to this 99 level. Okay, maybe even higher. Maybe up into up in here where it dropped from. Okay, or maybe even higher up here around this 008, or here's our high volume node up here, 07. Okay, does that help aesthetics? I mean, you see the distinction here now. Okay, and we were looking for it here, and this was kind of enticing. Just wasn't that good though. Wasn't quite good enough. Now, and take a look at this in here, and this is we see the trend line break here, and we do see that that high volume starting to come in. Okay, so but it was really this zone in here that really helped us. Okay. Now sellers are bringing it back down to test the top edge of this area here. Now let's see if the buyers commit and they support it. Okay, I would think they would. I would look for another move back up here to 99. Okay, so let's see if we get it here. And we should see that distinction right here at this 96.5. Okay, now big buyers. That's what we're looking for now. The order book looks good. See how they're supporting it underneath? And now, does that repel price? Start to find buyers? It's still not quite clear yet. VIX is creeping up. TT. Okay, I looked at it earlier, and yeah, I saw that it was coming back up. But we're around 15.5 or something, right? Okay, let's see if we get our buyers now on this one. And the break up to 99. Okay, maybe higher liquidity up in here, or 05. Point of control here at 07. High liquidity at 08. Okay. One of the things here that since this is a reversal, and why we're going over this in the pilot program is to understand that passive accumulation, these elements, because this is something that a lot of traders don't really look at. They just look at liquidity, and they look at mostly the volume. Okay, but if you start to understand this here as buyers, and it absorbs a lot of the selling pressure. And then we just look for the aggressive buyers and for them to charge after the passive liquidity on the offer. And that's how we get these transitions to take place. Okay. Now we did get the buyers coming in here. Right? We see that transition now. And we didn't quite see it in here earlier. Wasn't too clear. Okay. Anyway, my point is on this to hit the single, take some profit. In fact, this would be a measured move, and build some. I didn't quite do it to 99 up here, but then get out at break even. If you were in it up in here. Don't let these sellers here drive it now against you. Just take the scratch. Okay, you can always get back in. If you're in down here, well, you're still sitting in it. Okay, but take the scratch. All right, let me see if there's any questions on that. We will take a look at the NQ and gold. Sorry, guys, we just came across something as this started to unfold in real time. It was worthy to go over. No question about it being a lot easier. Like, usually we've been taking demo paper trading decisions in here, and I'm gonna. I held off on purpose yesterday because I had a bad day on Friday, and that's fine. It's like I'm going to take a little bit of a break from it, and go back to replay mode, hit it again and again and again, and then come back in and build that confidence again. Okay. However, I did notice, and Laura, this is actually more for you, and maybe it's a good idea. How much more flexible I was yesterday to cover so many other points, and because I wasn't in a position. Right? If we were in a position, we'd be like, well, this is it. We're stuck with it. There's not much we can do. Right? So here we go. And, it offers a lot more freedom. Certainly, it's a lot easier to kind of wave and say this is the direction that price is going to go, but not have to manage it. Right? And that it does free me up to be able to go over many different items, subjects, whatever. The one thing that is just a detraction from that, though, is that we can't see the trade management. Right, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. And that's why we do trade in demo paper trading mode. It is not a trading room in here. It is to show that in demo. Okay, you know, these are considerations, and this is how, you know, to manage. All right, again, this looks like a pretty good single to hit, and you know, take your profit. Okay, now, I actually think this could turn into a nice continuation trade as well. And then we look for the move back up into these areas that we talked about. Okay, but just reduce the risk, build that confidence, and then come back and reevaluate. Flush or Flash Golden. Do I use ICT concepts? No, not at all. ICT concepts are not new, and they've been around forever. I don't like the way that this guy really kind of branded them, and he was quite successful with branding them. But I mean, like he's talking about, what is it called? He calls it a fair value gap. It's right here. It's called a low volume node. That's it right here. Now that was really developed by a very serious trader for the CME. You know, back in like the 80s. And you know, Stadelmeyer. Okay, and to understand, and then then he really goes into detail. What does this mean here? Okay, great. You know, you've taken volume and you put it on the horizontal. You made these profiles. Great, that's great. Okay, it's helpful. It's good. However, what does this mean in here? Okay, well, it means that in an auction, it auctioned up in here a lot. Okay, but here it rejected. Now you can see what happened in here. Buyers just blasted through that. Okay, so it didn't reject in here. Well, it still did reject. It just blasted through it. So now buyers are back into this previous range in here, and this is an attractive area for price to go, which is your high volume node. This is value. It's a value area. And why do we call it value? Because this is where other traders transacted a lot. So they considered this value until it moved away over here, okay, which we covered in detail. And we covered about why it can move away. I didn't think it would do this big of a move, but it did. And now it's coming back into test and see if it can accept back up into value again after dipping down here and exploring this area down here. Right, a break of structure, that is no new concept at all. This is something that you know, like I said, back in the 50s, or God, it goes way further back. But Darvis Box, and many other traders along the way. Okay, that there's like this back and forth, and then a breakout, then back and forth, and then a breakout. Okay, and then I don't know, some of the other concepts in here, like change in character or whatever. Some of these ideas, very old. Okay? So they're nothing new. And he's been very successful, I think, at being able to get people to talk about some of these concepts from his definitions. I would just be careful with it. That's all. I think some of them are very inaccurate, and that's what I don't like about it. Anyway, enough ranting on that. Okay, Flash. Yeah, I really it's important to, well, I always thought that it was very important to be very precise with the way that you are defining things. Now, if everyone starts saying it's the fair value gap, and everybody says that, that's fine, and we'll call it that. But that's not what it has been called. And you know, Stadelmeyer came up with these concepts, and Dalton took it further, and they've been doing it since the 80s. And those are the definitions that I know of, and I know most traders refer to. Anyway, guys, what matters is being able to take that and build an edge from it. Okay, so getting back into using that replay mode, you might want to consider this pilot program that I had mentioned to you know, partake in that, and just through repetition, look for some of these things to unfold, and then you'll see them in real time. Okay, you'll see the distinctions. Like we're kind of waiting and watching in here, right? And then we got it, you know. But anyway, there's another one in here, like another structural area, and structure is you know, very important. And you can see the break here, right? And now look at the distinction there as well. Okay, this looks pretty good. You know, do we see that distinction? I always like to cover it. I mean, you can see it in the color and the size of the dots, but the bars is really nice because it's all kind of you know, horizontal here on the subchart here. Okay, and when you see the distinction unfold here, look at the selling here, and look at the buying coming back in here. Okay, so now we do see that transition starting to take place, and it really takes place here. Okay, and again, like, you know, hit some singles in here. You know, take some off, and if you did take some off up here at 99 or so, that's what we were looking for earlier. If you did, and you're kicking yourself, don't just we'll have this in replay mode. Go back and replay it, and get a feel for it. Okay, and think, you know, well, maybe this can turn into a continuation pattern now, or maybe I'm looking at a higher time frame structure. All right, guys, I've been ranting and raving about this, and it's playing out pretty nicely. Okay, but anyway, as we continue on with this program, we'll turn this edge and building these reps into being able to take that and really leverage it, or study another setup and have 2 to 3, 4 setups, and being able to play off of them as well. So that, for example, you understand that this can turn into a continuation pattern. If it's a reversal and it starts to unfold, now you're looking for a continuation. Or a bigger structural break, which is kind of both in this case. Okay. And then high liquidity up in here. That's your target, right? This is where it dropped from. It's a pretty good area. And we don't know. I mean, you can still see continuation, another continuation move on up into like this 07, 08 area up here. Okay. But all we're looking at in Bookmap in here are 3 elements. We're looking at our market structure created by best bid and offer. Actually, let me just take them all off the chart. Take the heat map off, take the volume dots off. Okay, this is just best bid and offer streaming. This is pure price action. Okay, this is what creates the market structure that we've been talking about. It's not candles, which they can do that as well, but it's not bar data that's aggregated. This is pure. Every little wiggle in price is in here, and it matters. See how we're accepting right above this swing in here so far. Look where we came here. See the swing here, and look how it right above that bounced off of it. Okay, one more dip below it, but then we get our buyers come in again. Okay, now we're dipping down below it here again. Let's see if we get buyers in here. Okay, is there high liquidity in here? Where are the transactions taking place? So if we add in let's add in the heat map first, actually. Okay, is there high liquidity there? Yeah, there was right in here, and they just pulled. Okay, so interesting little area right there. Okay, where is there other high liquidity? Well, it's up here at 02. Okay, now can we get some buying interest to trade up to that 02? And let's turn on the volume dots. Okay, so now we know where the passive liquidity is. We know the structure. And now we're going to look at the volume, where those transactions are actually taking place. All right. I don't have gold up at the moment, but let's take a look here from COMEX. And NASDAQ I do have here as well. So let's open that up. Hold on a minute. Okay, so NASDAQ, let's zoom out a little bit more on the NASDAQ actually. ES, Travis, yeah, I mean, most traders are looking at the ES. That's really why we cover it. And let me see. I think we're all caught up. A Wawa. Let's see. You mentioned the transition phase, right? We have aggressive buyers on the breakout. Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen on pretty much any breakout of a structure. Yeah, I mean, if you catch the breakout correctly, this is the problem with breakouts or breakdowns. You have to be pretty certain about it because it's a pretty rare event. So, you know, really look for it, and you know, understand the consolidation ranges. Like we were covering it in detail earlier about these consolidation ranges up in here, and then breakouts or breakdowns. God, I still can't think of the guy's name who had that book for $1,500. But yeah, he was really, that's why it was so popular, because he was starting to look for and understand consolidation followed by breakout. And if you can, I mean, you get in some of these areas in here or in here, and you're going to just ride the momentum away as it establishes a new range. And that can be very easy trading. There we go. Crable. It was because I remember he has his Crable levels as well. Thank you, Tronic. Exactly. Anyway, and starting to understand like when that might happen. Where is it more likely to happen? Okay. Usually you get these kinds of areas of back and forth in here for a while before you get those extensions. Well, like in this case in here, I mean, there, if you got in here, let's suppose, I mean, there's your risk was okay. Yeah, I mean, your risk would have been down here, right? Or maybe here, but this didn't even go against you, right? And you would have taken some, off up here in front of that high liquidity around that area. Yeah, thank you, Tronic. That was just driving me nuts. From what I understand, I remember there was this one one guy I knew had that book, and he goes, yeah, really, it's just page 7 or something like that of the book that matters. That was it. Oh yeah, Glory. No, it wasn't Wyckoff. It was Crable. That was the one I was looking for. Um, so let's see here. Any other questions? How do you invalidate setups? Okay, so we went through that. Aesthetics. I mean, you really have to. Aesthetics. The way to do it is through that. I just firmly believe in it. That pilot program. Because you're going to understand it. How would you evaluate or invalidate setups? You will do it, and you will learn it on your own, and you won't struggle with it because you'll replay this again and again and again, and you don't have to sit here. And then if you're trading live market, look, we had to sit here for like an hour for this to unfold. Okay? You could have gone through this about 10 or 20 times by now. By replaying it again and again in replay mode, and then you'd know what it looked like when it unfolds. I don't know. Laura, ask Laura. Ask who else is in here? DNT. Matt and Snowman is in here. He's been doing great work. I mean, how do you guys feel about it? Duzman. Let's see who else is in here. Trading is life is not an. Pete is in here. I don't know, Pete. Have you been? I don't know how much you've kind of. Mark is in here. Mark is doing great work. Some of these new guys. I mean, like Mark Duzman, Matt, Snowman. You guys are doing really good work. Order flow is king. Doc Holiday. All right. You're in it, aesthetics, and starting to study. Okay. I mean, I really like highly recommend just really forgetting everything, and these markets are a distraction. Okay, we're all kind of glued to them and thinking, oh, look at this, look at that, and how I might be able to take advantage of this and that. Well, if you know exactly what you're looking for, you just sit and wait, and then you trade it, okay? And you won't be enticed by it. And this will happen through, and you'll be able to evaluate or invalidate these setups very easily. Yeah, thanks, Laura. So you have to, all right, then. You have to, yeah. I mean, just give it a try for a few days of going through that replay mode. I mean, there's like, I don't know, 12 files in there, and I need to add more. But you'll add those in, and you should be able to get. I think DNT had a great example in the Bookmap Academy meeting where he went through. It was the 5th trade in replay mode, and there were still some things to consider. So Matt came up with one that was fantastic just the other day. I think last week on Friday or so, from a replay file. But the great thing too, there's a couple of things. First off, it's focused practice, but you can speed it up, and that is a huge advantage. Okay, the way that you'd have to do this in the past would be, take screenshots or look at your charts and start to measure them. When do I have an edge? And you're not really trading it though. You're not really seeing it unfold in real time. Anyway, Laura, I like what you wrote here. You have to do what the pilot program instructions say. It's about practicing and practicing so the brain gets enough data. That's right. You're building those reps. You're drilling it into your head. Okay. Once you've got it, and you understand the process, you'll be doing it for another setup. You'll be doing it for all your setups. Okay, and then that'll be that'll make a big difference. You'll get over the idea too that it's not a few isolated trades, it's several. Okay, minimum we say is 20. Okay, 100 is better. And some people are, I mean, God, Laura, I think you've traded this about 200 times now. Replay mode and forward testing and live. All right, guys, let's see what else. Wanted to take a look at gold and NASDAQ. Gold, finally getting into this like 45 minutes later. Sorry about that. Boy, I'm not seeing much here in gold. I mean, I'm seeing weakness, at least for the last hour or so. We need to put a little more data in here. And I would look for it to trade down into the 64 and 60 levels right now. Lots of high liquidity here. Now you can get the same setup here in gold too. Let's see though. if these buyers, are they transacting? This is very dubious here. I don't know if they did. Yeah, they did. They transacted. Okay. And then let's see if these guys buy at 65. Okay, they're just trading into it now. Okay, understanding this dynamic here between the passive and aggressive. See how we trade into it and we find some buyers? It might reverse. I don't know. We don't. We have to have a higher time frame level. Okay, but this dynamic between passive and aggressive, okay? And then look for the passive accumulation by buyers and then aggressive accumulation by buyers. Okay, now here's our structural break. Okay, I don't know. I'm very dubious on this one. Okay, I'm not seeing it accept higher yet. I don't see enough in here. If we come back up here to 70 and we see the buyers come back in, like a big green dot up here, then yeah, I would look for it. Okay, I would start to look for it. I don't think there's enough on the bid in here. Filled. Enough passive accumulation. Yeah, TT, I'm with you on that. Like about talking about candles and being able to really understand what's between the candles. It makes a huge difference. Okay, so now see how we got these guys up here at 70s, at the 70s. Okay, so now I'm looking for these aggressive buyers here. Let's see them move it away. Now I'm not too psyched about this move. I do see the buyers, and I know we broke structure and we're breaking it on buying here. Okay, so yeah, I would look for an area up here. The thing that I just don't like is what can really slingshot this move in here is when we get all of this liquidity getting filled on the bid here. That's where this can really, slingshot higher, because if you don't get these both dynamics here, there's got to be a lot of buyers over here to move that market and move price. Well, here we have them at our back. If they're hold on a minute. If they have enough buying pressure, okay. So otherwise, when we get all that passive liquidity in here, there's nothing else. I mean, you got so much support, right, that it doesn't even take a lot of aggressors to move that market higher, because there's not going to be too many sellers left on the market. Okay, so we are getting the move. It's starting to unfold. You're getting these traders, buying. And where are we going? Well, I like this little swing here at 77, because this is where we broke from. But I don't really see a whole lot on the offer until up here, maybe 79.80. And that's where I'd look for these buyers to try to take it. Oh, slingshot. Well, yeah, that's not a very technical term, Pedro. I just mean that we will get the extended move after. Okay, the impulse move. After, if we get a lot of absorption by buyers here, and we see the turnaround structure break, and then a lot of aggressive buyers, passive buyers break, aggressive buyers, price moves. All right, so we went over gold pretty well. Saw that unfold. Let's go back to that NASDAQ. We had questions about that. I added a little more data in here. And NASDAQ, interesting one. So we see this, it's pretty choppy in here for this zone from yesterday. And here's Sunday. So here's the swing low for the week. But then you can see everything kind of accepted above here. Now that we did come back and retest there just now. Okay, now NASDAQ's obviously quite a bit thinner than the S&P. So watch how this reacts when you hit high liquidity. Okay, so right now, okay, what happened up in here? Well, we traded up into some of this high liquidity in here, and we seen a move back down to the range. Okay, now let's see if these sellers can drop it one more time into maybe this level here, 75, 76. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Now, you can look for a couple of things in here in the NASDAQ, I think, due to its thinness, but it's more of a scalping thing that we'd be looking for here. High liquidity, stop run, at a range, bottom of a range in here. So we do have those elements in here. Now, let's see if we get our aggressors here, and they should be able to take it back up to high liquidity on the offer. Okay. Maybe here at 86 here, right? So let's see if they got enough oomph, enough momentum, enough buying pressure by the aggressors to move the market up into 86. Now, this is why we take our profit here at 82. We see some of that liquidity, and it did transact in here. Okay, right in here. Yeah, I still like 86 better, but hit the single, build that confidence, and then don't take a loss. We have a nice liquidity up here at 93, which we did not transact into previously. NQ the snake. Yeah. No, it's a beautiful beast here. Look at this thing move. Now, what? See the momentum behind this? I'm looking for 90, 92. Okay, there's a quick pullback there. Now let's see the buyers come back in, and now this would be a beautiful little continuation pattern. 90 looks great. 90, 91, something like that. Let's see it. Okay, again, more buyers. All right, buyers, you should be able to move it now. See, I mean, this is I like the NQ a lot, but like it is tricky. It can be very, very tricky. But you're you're scalping pretty quickly. Okay, I mean, you're looking at these smaller time frames for sure. Or we are here. We can zoom out though and look at bigger time frames. Well, on this time frame, it actually looks like it should roll back over and come back down to the low of the day here. Okay, so here's our strong move. Here's the buying in here. Okay, and yeah, there's some good buying, but is that really enough? I would look for it on this time frame here to roll back over and come back down to the lows. Okay. Anyway, guys, I think we're just about done here. It's the European close. And Tom B is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for an onboarding event at market close at 4 p.m. And we also have the Bookmap Academy, and that will be at 4 p.m. on Thursday. And then I'll be back here at 10 a.m. on Friday. Now, all those are East Coast times. And I think I got to all of your questions. Okay, so gold is back up into those areas that we were looking for, this kind of 80, 79, 80 or so. It transacted. No, gold is well, it's moving. It's kind of grinding now, but it might go into consolidation now. But yeah, it's been kind of grinding higher. Okay? I mean, this is the target. Okay? Target achieved. And yeah, it's still kind of grinding higher, but I would not be looking for anything at the moment. Okay? This in here, like, was this was a nice move. I like seeing some of this liquidity filled in here, but this area here, and then some of this, not all of it, transacted. Okay, but you can see we got the buyers in here, and they moved it. Okay, so these are some of the subtleties in the setup. Okay, understanding how much got filled passively compared to how much the aggressors are coming in. Okay. Also, trend, like this is probably a pullback in the bigger trend, and those can be much easier. Yeah. I wanted to just show again for TT. I wanted to show you the candles, candlesticks in here, because if you like candles, I think you'll get a lot out of Bookmap. Let's actually make these into a 4-hour candlestick chart. Let's look at a 5-minute. Okay, so understanding we're trying to read the order flow by looking at 4 data points in here, and the relationship between other 4 data points, but here you can see what's in between them. Like this move to the downside and this wick, this could have played out many different ways. There's actually quite a bit of selling in there on that wick, and not a whole lot of buying that lifted it back up. And then we do see the buying starting to pick up in here, and price didn't even move on that candle. Okay, but it started to accumulate a little bit more, it's hitting in some of these wicks up in here, and then we get the breakout. Okay, now it's going to be a stop run. It is. Okay, now here's the next candle, and this one is very tricky here. In terms of we're just looking at candles and liquidity and transactions. Okay, we're not even really looking at market structure. We're looking at candle structure. Okay, but we traded up into high liquidity here, and I don't see a whole lot of buyers. And this closed up here on a 5-minute. That's bullish, right? But to me, this looks like it could be a really nice trap. Okay, so for example, now if that is a trap, and you can home in on exactly this buying pressure in here, we can get sellers down below it right here around 03. It's going to be looking pretty good to come back down to here pretty quickly. Okay, that'd be back to 01. Now here they come. Okay, now we get a little bit of a bounce there, okay, because the previous swing or where these buyers came in. Okay, we still have buyers fighting it here. Anyway, this is a great way to look at your candles and really understand what's in those candles, TT. I think that's fantastic. Oh, you're welcome. Yep, TT, Michael, Pedro, and Flash Golden. What does a strength level indicator do? How do we interpret it? Well, it's I don't have time to go over it at the moment. Basically, it's you're looking at certain areas where is our kind of our old iceberg indicator, our hidden orders. But there are problems with it, or there are some inaccuracies. So we can still look at some of those areas where something in the order flow kind of odd had unfolded. And so we're looking for strength at some of those areas. Yeah, okay, so I mean, this retested all the way back down to that candle low here, and it auctioned down here. So now we see sellers again. Okay, I would look for the sellers to hit it and hit down to here again. And I think that if they do, and they have a little bit of size here, these sellers, and if they do, then we should get the move lower. Right, I think we can break this swing here on this candle at that point. Okay, and all of these buyers in here, they got it wrong. And we should see a beautiful stop run back down into 6,500 or so. Anyway, guys, all right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. Good session, and we will go over more details on Friday, or the Academy, or over in the in that pilot program. I got to follow up with you guys on a lot of different points, and we'll have some materials for you guys as well. Anyway, we'll take it further. Thanks for coming, and have a good day out there trading. We'll catch up with you next time.